I'm Kevin, and welcome to another episode of Baritone Chord Melody. Today we're going to check out a new key, a new scale, and a new play along. So get yourself tuned up and let's get to it. Hey, before we get started, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and click that alert bell so you know when the next video is coming your way. If you're interested in more learning resources, head over to AllForUke.com where we have a full searchable library of songs, song sheets, practice tracks, worksheets, and more. All for you, AllForUke.com. All right, so let's take a look at the chords in the key of A. So we start off with our one chord. Our root chord is A major. So A major we play here on the D, G, and B strings of the second fret. Now there's a couple different ways you can do this. You can use your middle, ring, and pinky. Squeezing all of those fingers into that fret is a little bit of a challenge, so I recommend kind of turning your hand a little bit slightly towards the headstock. You can also use index, middle, and ring finger if you would like. That's another option. Try both of them, see which one works better for you. Everybody's a little bit different. The other option here I will give you is using just a single finger. You can use your index or middle finger to hold down all three of those strings at the same time. Some people like to do that, some people don't. So that's your A chord. Our next chord, our 2 chord, is a minor chord. It's a B minor. So the B minor chord, we play like this. Again, a couple different ways to do it. So the simple version that I'll use looks like this little staircase right here. So we have index, middle, and ring finger on the G, B, and E string. And I'm leaving that D string open up here. So there's a B minor chord. You can also play the full version of it, which we'll use in the play along. And then I take my ring finger, put that on the D string, and have my pinky move down to the G string, keeping my middle and index in the same position as before. So that's the full version of your B minor chord. Now, we're going to play a C sharp minor chord, our minor third in the key. And to do that, all we need to do is take this shape, move it 2 frets over so that we're playing on the 6th fret with our ring and our pinky. Middle is on the 5th and index is on the 4th fret. And that's our C sharp minor chord. So it's a nice little move here. Have that little move from B minor to C sharp minor. Our 4 chord, the D chord. D chord's played with our index, ring, and middle finger here on the 2nd and 3rd fret on the bottom 3 strings. Then we move over to our 5 chord, which is an E. E is played with middle finger, D string of the 2nd fret, index on the G string of the 1st fret. We also have the option of that 5-7 substitution for the 5 chord, so I'm going to show you there's an E7 here as well. Just take your middle finger off of that D string and just have your index finger on the G string of the 1st fret for that chord. Our 6th chord is an F sharp minor, and we play that with our ring finger on the 4th fret of the D string, our index finger going over the bottom 3 strings on the 2nd fret. So that's a bar chord where you have the option of barring all 4 strings if you would like, or you can just bar those bottom 3 strings and keep the ring finger on top. So that's our F sharp minor. And then we conclude with our 7 chord, G sharp diminished, which is played index, ring, middle, pinky on the 3rd and 4th fret here. A nice tense sounding 7 chord. And then we're back to home to our A chord. So those are the chords that we need in the key of A. Now let's check out the A major scale for the melody portion. All right, to go along with our chords in the key of A, let's check out the A major scale. So the A major scale will start here on the G string of the 2nd fret, and that's our root note, the 1 note, the A note. So pluck that with your thumb. And again here, just like in our first episode, when I'm doing single string plucks, I'm bracing my hand underneath the baritone here, kind of with I'm using my middle ring and pinky to grab underneath, and then I pluck down on the string with my thumb. So our first note is A. Our 2nd note is our B note, and that's on the 4th fret of the G string. So I use my ring finger to play that. So I have A, B. And just like with our chords, we have a C sharp note here for our 3 note. That's on the 2nd fret of the B string, so we have C sharp. Our fourth note is D. We play that on the 3rd fret. And we have an E note here on the 5th fret. So far we have A, B, C sharp, D, E. If you'll also notice here, just a little point to make, I'm using one finger to cover each fret. So instead of moving horizontally like this, I can keep my hand in one position as I walk through the scale, and my thumb doesn't even have to move behind the neck. So we have A, B, C sharp, D, E, and then down to our last few notes here, we have F sharp here on the 2nd fret of the E string, and then we have our G sharp on the 4th fret, and then we finish it off here on A, 5th fret of the E string. So that entire scale, if you want to walk through it with me, nice to say those notes out to yourself as you do it too. That'll also help as you construct your own chord melodies. So we have A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A. So I would practice that scale a bunch of times, and not only practice it going through from start to finish, but pick out little portions of the scale and play it. Just come up with your own little melodies. That's kind of how you start producing your own chord melodies. If you're digging the sound of my uke, head over to AllForUke.com/shop. You can have a Kali ukulele for yourself. When you buy your Kali ukulele through AllForUke, you're supporting us, and we really appreciate it. Make sure you check it out. Concerts, sopranos, tenors, baritones, a wide selection of accessories, capos, and more. All for you, AllForUke.com/shop. All right, so now I'm going to play the piece of music I put together here in the key of A. Little demonstration. Here we go. We're going to break this down into a couple of different sections here. So let me play the first section. We'll walk through each of the chords and the notes, and then we'll play it together. So here is the first part. So I start off with my E major chord, and I'm going to play through that entire chord with a full strum. From there, I take my ring finger, put it down on the 2nd fret of the G string, and I'm going to do a slide. So I'm going to slide from 2 to 4. So we have E, slide. Then we move down to 3rd fret on the B string, and we play 3rd fret, 2nd fret, followed by the 4th fret on the G string. So we have slide, 3, 2, 4. From there we move back to our E chord and do a full strum again. And we use our ring finger to do another slide from 2 to 4. And we finish off the phrase with the top of a B minor chord. So I'm going to take my ring, pinky, and middle finger, and we're just going to play the top 3 strings here. And I just want to strum those top 3 strings. So we have this last little part goes E, slide from 2 to 4, and then we play the top of the B minor. All right, so now we're going to walk through it together nice and slow, and then we'll play it together right after that. So we have E, slide, 3, 2, 4, E, slide, B minor. Now, let's do that together, and I won't talk through this one. So here we go, starting on the E chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now for a demonstration of the second part, you'll notice it sounds quite a bit like the first part. Except that chord. So let's walk through this part now. The good news is everything you did from the first part is the same except that last chord that we get to. Instead of playing the B minor on the top 3 strings, we're going to play a special secret chord called D major 7, super sweet chord. So that chord sounds like this, and all we do to play it is we bar the bottom 3 strings across the 2nd fret. So our normal D major chord is here, that we learned in the beginning. To play a D major 7, we just change this note right here from D to D flat, and now we have a D major 7. So I'm just going to walk through this part nice and slow. So it's the same thing except that last chord. So we have E slide 3 2 4 E slide. All right, now for a demonstration of part 3. All right, so we're going to start off on an A chord here. So your choice, you can do middle, ring, and pinky, or index, middle, and ring for that A chord. I'm going to strum down all the way through the chord, and then I pluck the B string where I'm playing the chord. So I'm playing the 2nd fret, so that's going to be single pluck on the 2nd fret of the B string, followed by a single pluck of the E string, open. So we have A, 2, 0. From here, I move over to my F sharp minor chord, and I'm going to play that with a single strum as well, followed by 2 other notes that are within the chord. So I'm going to play the B string and the G string, follow that. So I play, so it's strum down on the F sharp minor, followed by B string, G string. So up to this point we have A, 2, 0, F sharp, 2, 2. Little light on that one note there. But moving on to the D chord, which is over here, and we play a single strum, followed by 3rd fret of the B string, which we're already holding down, and 2nd fret of the E string, which we're already holding down as well. So we have D, 3, 2, and then we finish this phrase off with an E7 chord. So the E7 chord is just going to be index finger on the G string of the 1st fret. And because that's such a tense sounding 5 chord, you can end this whole thing with a single down strum on the A chord. So nice and slow through this section here. We have A, 2, 0, F sharp minor, 2, 2, D, 3, 2, E7, and so much tension that we want to resolve to A. All right, so now's your chance to play this section with me, nice and slow. I won't be talking through this one, sorry, I know. Here we go, A chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, well, I hope you're having fun with this chord melody. Now we're going to put it all together. We're going to go through it at a nice slow to medium pace here. So get yourself all loosened up. Make sure you're smiling, playing some baritone together on a beautiful, very wintry day here in Chicago. So here we go, starting on the E chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second part. Then A chord. Well, thank you so much for learning baritone chord melody with me. I hope you're enjoying these videos. I hope you're finding them to be informative. Let me know in the comments below where you're playing your baritone around the world, how long you've been playing the baritone. Are you new? Have you been playing for a while? Let me know in those comments below. Also, make sure to jump over to AllForUke.com where I have other learning resources, practice tracks, song sheets, a worksheet for this one, and a pro tab that you can download as well. All kinds of cool stuff for you. My name's Kevin. Keep smiling. We're playing baritone ukulele together. I'll see you next time.
Let's get